Hi everyone, I'm Vula from Skynet, and today we'll be talking about some of Webview's new V11 features, and specifically about how you can edit the properties of multiple controls at the same time, and how you can use our new bulk editor, bulk property editor dialog, and how you can search for and edit multiple property values from that dialog window. And also, I'm just going to show you how you can use our new advanced script editor so that you can create and edit scripts in a more concise way. So let me just start by trying to add a couple of controls on a new page, and we'll try to edit those control properties without having to go through the process step once control by control, one control at a time. So let me just add, let's just add a couple of rectangles. And as you can see, each of those rectangles has a set of properties in the Property Explorer, like you can change their fill color and their stroke color, and you can set the stroke thickness and properties like that. So instead of having to do that for each control on the page, instead what you can do is you can select both controls, and then you can use that same Property Explorer, which now indicates that there are multiple controls selected, and you can see the same set of properties, but now setting each of those properties will have an effect on both selected controls. So using that editor can have an effect on both controls, and you wouldn't have to go and change each setting one by one. You wouldn't have to go through the process for each control. And so undoing that will have an effect on both controls. So undoing will do the undo on both the selected controls. So these two controls are of the same type. They're both rectangles. If we now go and add a control of a different type to the canvas, so for example, let's just try to add an ellipse, you'll see that selecting a control, selecting a rectangle and an ellipse will also display properties in the Property Explorer, but it will only display a subset, so it will only display their common properties. So a rectangle and an ellipse have in common the fill color, the stroke color, and the stroke thickness. All the rest have been omitted because you can't really change them for both controls at the same time. You have to go to each one and change their individual properties. So using the same pattern, you can do the same thing. And you can even set a simple binding, and that simple binding will have an effect on both controls selected. So if we go and set that, you'll see that you can set the fill color by setting the simple binding, and that's going to be applied to both controls. And of course, the undo will have the same impact on both controls. So the simple binding will get set or unset when you click on undo on both properties, on both controls. So if I now go and add a completely different control, like for example a text label, and trying to select then a text label and an ellipse, you'll see that we don't really get any common properties apart from some common events and some common properties that are defined for all controls in Webview. So don't be surprised if you select two controls and then you don't get any set of common properties. Maybe they don't really have any common properties. But this feature is very useful when trying to edit multiple rectangles or multiple text labels. This really happens sometimes. It's really useful in some cases. Let me try now to use the bulk editor dialog and try to set values from that property values from that dialog. I'm just going to go and try and open any page. One of our demo pages is okay for this demo. And so there are two ways to access that bulk editor dialog. You can either right click on the page and select bulk edit properties from the context menu, or you can go to the View menu and click on Bulk Edit Properties. Either way will work. And so what you get when you open the bulk editor is an entire a data grid that contains the entire set of properties for all the controls on the page. And I shouldn't say the entire set, because this data grid only contains parameters or properties that are binding, simple binding expressions, point binding expressions, or string literals. So basically what that means is that you won't be able to edit colors, for example, in this bulk editor dialog. Colors can only be set and changed by this property explorer, by the property explorer we saw before. So you can see that there are several filters on that data grid, like you can filter by name, by control name, by control type, by the parameter name, by the expression type, or the value. So for example, if I want to change the value of a text label, or let's just try to edit the value of a text label, then I'm gonna have to go and filter by control type and see all my text labels. And then maybe I only want to see parameters of input value. I won't change any other parameters. I'm just going to change the input value of text labels. And then if I'm looking for a specific value that I want to change, I can simply type it in up here. And then find next will highlight the value. So you can simply go and change that, and then hitting OK will show it on the text label. And of course, undo will undo the action, redo will redo the action, and this works the same way. This hasn't really changed. So basically, that's the way the bulk editor dialog works. You can change the value of multiple controls at the same time, and without having to go one by one, doing the process one by one. And the final thing I want to show you is the new script editor dialog. So basically, I'm just going to open a new page that has maybe has a few scripts on it. Like for example, the animation effects page has scripts. We already had a way to edit or create scripts on either the page or on a control. And you can see that this was a simple editor. Down here, there's this basic, very basic script editor. We now have added the option to open up a more advanced editor by clicking on that button. So this will open this script in this editor, and you can see that you get syntax highlighting with this, and you also get indentation. This is more readable. This is a lot more readable than before. And you have some extra features, like for example, you can see the scripts, every script that's defined in this page, both the page itself and the controls. So if you want to open them up and then edit them all at the same time, or if you want to copy and paste parts of the script into another script, you can do it without leaving the editor at all. And what you also get is that there's here a common formulas drop down where you can have a look on all the common methods, all the common formulas that are defined, that are predefined, and with a short description for each one on how on usage. So basically, if you want to use all these point methods, you can have a look at how they can be used, and a summary of the usage of each method and the parameters that it accepts. And then you also get, when you type in something, you also get a suggestion for completion. So if I go and type in wv dot message box, for example, I'm just going to get a suggestion for completion. Maybe I don't remember the exact syntax. This will help me to use the method I want more easily. And then if you've made the change and you wanna accept it, you can click on the OK button. If multiple scripts have changes, then the OK button will prompt you on to confirm if you want to accept all changes. So basically, if I want to discard this specific change on this script, I'm just going to have to uncheck it, uncheck the checkbox, and then hitting on OK will only persist the changes on the selected scripts. And the other thing that you can do is if you have a syntax error here, you're just going to get down here a description of the error, and you can also execute the script. So if there is a specific error here, you're just going to get an error when executing. If the script looks fine, then you can execute, and this is going to give you the result of the script, which you can see down here. That's the result of executing this specific script. And so basically, hitting on cancel will cancel all changes and will just return to your previous state. And basically, that's all I have to tell you about the new script editor and about the new editing features on WebView v11. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.